once it's done, we are like, we have solved this much problem, that much problem. You don't have any idea about it and you still wanted to try it. Just go ahead and try it. It is very good opportunity for you to use your background knowledge about all these things. But here I suggest that don't take it on your ego. Rush to the next problem, solve some other problem, and then you're happy, right? And the reason is that once your mind have this idea that you're not able to solve one problem, you're not able to solve this problem, then the series goes on. Hello everyone, it's really good to see you all. So today we are going to discuss a very important topic, and the topic is you all are using LeetCode in a wrong way. And by this I mean that you already know some of the facts, you consciously know that, but you are not using it, and because of that you are not giving your 100%. So in this video I'll discuss all this, so please try to follow each and everything because it is going to change your life. So first one, the most common mistake every one of you do is to directly jump to a problem. Let's suppose if you have a problem, do some, you have to firstly read this. And then you have to firstly analyze what are the different examples and what are their input and output are. And according to that, you have to move ahead. And I suggest personally try to think of any of the brute force approach, and then after try to optimize it with some data structures or any different method you want to apply. So the problem is if you're directly jumping into any problem without understanding it, it is going to take a lot of your time and still you are not going to solve that problem. This is something which I have done in my past, and due to that I have wasted 1 to 2 hours and even more on the same problem because I have not the clear understanding of what problem is, right? And this is a very common thing. You just read a bit of the problem statement and you try to just rush to solving that problem. That is a mistake. Firstly, please take your time to understand the problem and what it is trying to say. So not in this case, anywhere or anytime if you are doing some coding, firstly try to analyze the problem statement, understand it, and then head to the solution. Don't just directly jump into it. So once you have jumped to the problem statement, try analyzing the time and space complexity. So here let's suppose if we solve this two-sum problem through a brute force approach, then the time complexity should be O of n squared and the space complexity is O of 1, right? Now, since we know that O of n squared time complexity is very bad and we need to improve it, or we can improve it, that we know. So once you get the idea, then you move ahead to the next solution. So here you can see that now the time complexity is reduced to O of n, but the space complexity here become O of n. But in this case, once you have the clarity why you can increase the space complexity in this case, because you are reducing the time complexity from O of n square to O of n, right? So this is one solution. So once you have the idea about coding anything, you already have the idea about its time and space complexity. At the same time, you can just improve it further. So all of these things only happen when you got or develop a habit of writing the space and time complexity for all the different problems you solve. So write it in a form of comment at the same time you are solving that problem. This not only makes you prepare for your interviews, but at the same time it is going to help you a lot to understand how all this mechanism works, right? And along with that, here you can see that I have tried to write all the different comments what my code is doing. And why I'm doing this? I'm doing this all because we are coding something, we are in a rush, we just rush to the problem statement and then we are able to solve it. But after that, I suggest try to write each and everything as much as you can in a form of comment, because you don't have to solve any problem just once. What I have seen that even I used to do it, that once I have solved some problem, I never look back that problem again. And it is a major problem which we all do, but we don't know. And because of some reason at that time you are able to solve it, but after some time you are going to forget that. And this is very obvious, right? So you need to practice that thing, and if you have written all these, it will take very less time for you to catch up because you have already listed all the different things. Whatever you are thinking while coding that code, You have written that in the form of comments, right? And it is going to help you in the further interview process. Whenever you are going to give one, you have this practice at the same time you are doing your coding practice, right? So please do involve this particular thing of, adding the time and space complexity, along with that a bit of comments in your code. It is going to help you a lot in the future. Now, once you have solved some problem, let's suppose to some problem you have solved, you know the concept of how to use hash map to solve this problem. Now, don't just skip to a random problem. Since you have the base of understanding this problem, the concept it uses, you can solve similar problems or similar pattern problems at the same time, because it is going to improve your particular understanding of this concept. So similar to the two-sum problem, we have two-sum two problem. So here, using the same problems concept, you are able to solve one more problem at the same time. So I'll tell you my case. Once I was able to solve almost 9 problems on LeetCode in 1 hour, and that was so smooth. So I was about a beginner, but since I was solving all the problems in a pattern way, and just because I was getting more and more acceptance ratio, because of that I was also able to solve so many other problems which are related to the same concept or maybe a little bit different from it. So I do suggest that solve all the similar pattern problem once you solve a problem with some new concept, right? So here you can see that this one is also similar, and after you solve this, you can move ahead and solve three-sum problem. So it is an extended version of the concept you have used in two-sum. You can solve this, and after that you can move ahead and solve four-sum problem. So in this case, you are increasing the difficulty level by level, and that's why you are brushing up your concept even more, and you are making yourself more brushed up with that concept, right? So this is very important thing which most of us didn't follow, but it is going to be very helpful. It will take time, it will need your discipline in order to do this, but once you have this in your practice, you are going to master everything. And by everything I mean from the coding rounds to the interviews to getting your job. So everything is here. So once you start your practice in this way, you are going to have a very good background knowledge of everything, whatever you are doing. And this is very important if you want to succeed, right? So one more thing which you have to keep in mind, let's suppose you have solved all these 4 problems. Now please, remind yourself to solve them once in a week or maybe twice in a week, so that you don't forget all these. And this become very interesting that when you see this problem, you're going to say it like, oh, this problem, this I can do in a minute. And all these confidence comes if you are doing it in a right way. So practicing and then again and again visiting the problem which you have already solved help you to, retain all those concepts, all those new things you have used while coding that particular problem. And once you have the background knowledge of all of these things, you are going to tackle any new problem because you have a very better understanding of all the core things you have done in the past. And this is something a lot of us lack, because we just rush to solve a problem, and once it's done we are like, we have solved this much problem, that much problem. But the real story is that we don't have a catch or a hold on any particular simple concept for all those things. So if you are doing something, do it in a way that it is going to benefit you for the long run, and this is how you should do it. Now one more important point which you have to notice, let's suppose if you are going to solve a new problem, you don't have any idea about it and you still wanted to try it, just go ahead and try it. It is very good opportunity for you to use your background knowledge about all these things. But here I suggest that if you have stuck on this problem for almost 1 to 2 hours and even then you are not able to get anything out of it, just don't stuck to that problem. Don't take it on your ego. Some people might think, how can I not solve this problem? Accept it that you are not able to solve it, it's fine. You have to learn this new concept now, and then once you learned it, you are going to rock here, right? So in this case also, don't just waste your time too much on a single problem. Take your time. If you are thinking that you can solve this problem, you can, take the time of weeks to think about it. Don't see any solution. But I'm telling here that if you don't have any idea like how to start, or you have stuck very badly, just go ahead and see the solution. And then again, once in a week, twice in a week, try again revisiting that similar problem and try to solve it by your own. So this is not a bad thing to see the solution of any other person. It's totally fine because it is very new to you and you don't know how to tackle that problem. But once you have read the solution, now the responsibility comes on your shoulder, because now you have to work according to you, as you have the background knowledge, right? Now, one very important thing, let's suppose if you have solved any problem, right? Let's suppose you have solved this two-sum problem. Now what most of you do? You just rush to the next problem, solve some other problem, and then you're happy, right? This is a good thing, I agree. But at the same time, you can make yourself more better with the same problem. You can just go here in the solution section and just look the solution what people are providing. You have tried it using HashMap. Maybe some other person has used any other data structure to solve the same problem. So getting all these lot of knowledge for the same problem help you improve and make yourself most efficient coder, right? And you can do it by practice, and you can do it by making it a habit that after you have solved the problem, just go see the solution of other people and take inspiration from them. Try solving the similar problem with different data structure or different method. Play with the space and time complexity so that you can get the actual essence of all these things. So this is very important and most of us avoid this. Now one important thing which I have seen, so here you can see that you have so many different topics. So you have so many different data structures, and if you want to improve some of your data structures and you want to brush up that, just try to solve those problems or problem based on those concepts as much as you can. So here you have a lot of problems on array, lot of problems on string, and so on. So if you want to improve your concept on that particular data structures, just go solve some problem so that you can get a little bit of confidence on that topic. And it is very important and it is very easy if you are using LeetCode. Now you can also select the difficulty level. Start with the easy one. This is very important point. I just wanted to make it sure that you know already this. Most of people start with some, let's suppose if you are starting with a medium problem, and if you are stuck, the next problem, if it is easy, you are still not going to solve that. And the reason is that once your mind have this idea that you are not able to solve one problem, you are not able to solve this problem, then the series goes on. And this happens in many cases. I'm not saying every one of you are going to get this, but most of us suffer with this thing. So I suggest, if you're starting, if you have just started the coding, even if you're a very good coder, just start with some basic problem so that you have the idea and the confidence that yes, you can do it. And after that, just move ahead and try to tackle some new problem. So in this case, I was trying to say that if you have done some problem, if you have solved some problem, start your coding journey or coding journey of the day with that problem, because it helps you to revisit, revise that problem, and at the same time you are getting the concept that you already have. Or in other words, you can also solve any easy problem, because that helps to build the confidence you need to solve some new problems. And once you have started solving some problem in a row, you're going to tackle the medium to hard problem very easily. Not very easily, but you will able to solve it. So the confidence we get while getting the accepted message on LeetCode, right? That is a confidence booster to solve the next problem. So start with some basic one, or the one you think are easy one. Just start with that and later on move to the harder one or the new concept based problems. If you start using these strategies in your coding journey, you're going to see yourself improved a lot, and just Make this a habit. This is very simple, very easy, and still it is going to change you forever. Now here, LeetCode also has the top 150 interview questions, so you can go ahead and visit all these, right? And prepare yourself for the interviews, and at the same time, you can also go ahead on LeetCode 75, solve all these problems as much as you can and get the confidence about how much the coding concept you have now, right? So these are very important things. You can also, sort based on the company's tag. If you want to prepare for a certain company, just click on that and then start preparing. So if you want to go on LinkedIn, you have the tags. If you want to go on Google, you have the tags. So just, go ahead and explore this as much as you can. So yeah, this is it. I hope now you can use LeetCode effectively so that you can improve your coding skills and enjoy your coding journey. So this is it. I'll see you in the next one.